Do you have a few moments that you remember that exemplifies, oh, this is the moment I feel the flow again? Do you have examples or moments that you re-feel that in leading teams?
I think that some of the key elements, and I think I was telling you before that I just started reading The Art of Impossible. I'm excited to get through the rest of it. I'm maybe like a couple chapters in or whatever, but um, past the chapter with a lot of broken bones, which was very exciting for me. But um, w- one of the some of the description that they use, the language that they use in that really resonated with me was around sort of everything else falling away, right? Having this clear sense of this is important, this is a priority. All the rest of this is distraction, and I think that's to tie a couple things together. I think that's what appealed to me so much about that book, The One Thing. And I remember now that you mention it, this element in one of the closing chapters, I think, where the author is describing if you do this right, if you adhere to this set of principles or this principle, it's not really complex. If you adhere to this principle, a lot of stuff is going to look like it's on fire around you. And you have to be okay with that, right? Because as soon as you stop to put out all those little fires, then the big raging one in front of you is going to keep going, right? And the whole point is identifying if I put this out, these other problems get smaller. And to me, that relates a lot to how flow feels. Like when I look back, I'm totally constructing this on the fly, but we'll make it work. When I look back on those moments in engineering, right? It was, I am, I know I'm ignoring everything. I'm like, I don't know if I want to say this, but I'm probably even ignoring my personal health at some point in here because I'm so invested in what I'm doing, and it's so fulfilling and rewarding that I. It's easy to put those things out of mind. I think it's finding that balance, and so as I try to think about that in the context of leadership, I think one of the places that we're challenged to get that same state is feedback cycles, right? Like feedback cycles in software development are can be in seconds, right? Oh, I wrote the thing, it did the thing I thought it was going to do. Great, I'm on to the next one. As you get to large organizational scale, um, then it can be years, right? So feeling like, okay, I'm making progress. And it is that sense of momentum, I think, that really supports the feeling of flow. So, uh, the best examples I can come up with, unfortunately, are probably firefighting because, like, incidents or whatever, when something big comes up that makes everything else, makes the kind of delta between what's important and what's not important so big and so obvious that everything else falls away. Those are some of the easiest examples to come up with, but I certainly don't want to be advocating like just create more fires because then you'll have this calming sense of flow, right? That's not really what we're going. And that's what's so fascinating to me is, another big part of that is what do you enjoy? What are you curious about? What motivates you every day? And if you can find the right combination of those things, does that give you the opportunity to get back into that state more? And I would say when I probably can't come up with a concrete example because it'd be too complex to try to explain. But at the points where decisions feel easy and the and it feels like people are really well aligned, and I don't mean aligned because you told them the same thing a million times, but aligned because they all share the same sense of purpose. That is the closest sense of or the closest feeling I think that I would have that I would just, relate to that sort of personal I'm just up all night coding flow, which is we're all working together on something and it feels easily where the coordination is easy, right? And the coordination is easy because we understand the goal and we all know the role that we play in it and we're executing against that. And I think that's always easier in the small, and I am personally in pursuit of attaining that in the large, right? Like the bigger you can get that sense of coordinated execution in the sense that like we don't need to talk a lot because we are all we have a bigger picture that we all understand, the more likely we are to feel like we're just moving and we have that momentum.